Okay, team, I'm going to get started. Kristen's going to pull up a chair next to me in a second, but welcome to our, Team Perseverance Monday Night Team Call. It is February 11th. We are in over the hump of 2019 here into the second month. For any new coaches that come on or watch the recording, welcome for coming on to the team call. For most of you, you all probably know me, Dave Atkins, but if some new coaches come on, I'm David Atkins. This is Kristen Atkins. We're the founding coaches of Team Perseverance, and this is where we get to come together each week to go over news, training, announcements, and some weeks we have guest speakers, and tonight we have an amazing, amazing call. So I'm going to get right into just sharing my screen and getting right into tonight's a couple of announcements I want to go over so everybody's aware. First announcement, like I've been telling everybody since the summer, if you have not already, make sure you have signed up for the Team Perseverance website. This is where you're going to have access to hundreds of our team calls, social media training, coach basics training, diamond training, everything that's possibly there. I actually also updated some stuff there today. So if you go to our Facebook team page and you just search for team website, you're going to see many posts that I put up on how you can sign up. With that being said, we have our new text messaging system. Once you sign up for the team website, if you text that phone number right there below with the email address that you used to sign up with the team website, that's going to opt you in. Like today, I got to send out a bunch of reminders that Keith is guest speaking tonight. So we're not going to spam you. Don't worry about that. But it's a way just to stay in tune for us to send some reminders out. Next, I want to welcome all the new coaches. Sometimes you may say, what should I be doing now? The first thing is make sure you're in a challenge group with your coach at the minimum, so you're becoming a product of the product. Number two is sign up for the team website so you have access to everything like I showed you. Number three, get set up with the Getting Started Right call with your coach. And last but not least, get into Coach Basics training. We have a new one that starts the first Monday of every month. Yeah, so I can do that. All right, next slide. Calls, meetings, and webinars. Today was the National Wake Up Call. I know I posted the link on our team page. Anita Myron spoke about what we just had training on 2 weeks ago with our team, which was using the Success Club Daily Activity Tracker. So make sure you listen to that call. The recording is posted. Again, guys, it's about plugging in and being a sponge. Regarding our monthly calendar for the team, just to picture ahead what's going on the next couple of weeks. So last week, we started the volume training that I put together a couple of months ago, which really goes over in a line actually with what you're going to learn and hear about with Keith and Keith's book with Build to Last about the importance and where the power is in building volume. So that's in there. That is not for somebody that you want to take Coach Basics first. We had one of my new coaches started doing this, and he was asking me some pretty impressive questions for being like a coach for a week, and I kind of got confused. I realized he ended up in that first, but make sure you get plugged into that. You can see this week, our diamonds, we have our leadership call tomorrow night, and the Love Yourself flash sale that Kristen's running is actually going to be next week that we're doing it.
Monday and Tuesday of next week, guys. I put that in the Monday memo email that you got, because we're aligning it with the release of Fruit Punch Energize.
Right. So that was the next point. Fruit Punch Energize is kicking off next week. We're doing a push to Emerald the end of next week. So if you are a coach or you have coaches you want to get to Emerald, we're going to run that right on the team page. And we will be having a business coach sneak peek the week after. Guys, all of this is on the team website. And this calendar on the team website has clickable links. So at the top left and right, everything is clickable to give you sample ideas for scripts, social media posts, links to the sneak peek, everything you possibly need. Also, Kristen sent out the Monday memo. We sent an email out team-wide to everybody this morning, and this is kind of not like this slide is the month. This is what's going on this week. So you should take a look at that, and this is a great way to map out so you know what's going on, and you're not like a ship without a sail. You're focused. You're moving forward. You know what's going on with the network. You know what's going on with the team. So be sure to check that out. Some push goals, the new leader conference. You have to be a 1-star by the end of the year. An elite coach, 105 leadership points by the end of the year. And being a 5-star, and Premier Coach 75 leadership points and a 2-star within the year. All right, a couple quick things on what's new. First, guys, I posted today. This is something I kind of took on. I took the bull by the horns to do. I said to Kristen, you know, we're adding new challengers. Sometimes people get caught in the middle of the month, or a lot of our coaches don't know what to send their people when they first sign up. So I created this one-page PDF. And this one-page PDF is a welcome message on the top. When they click on the video in the middle on the PDF, they're going to see a generic welcome video that Kristen and I speak in general about the group, so anybody can use it. On the bottom left is going to take them to a getting started prep guide, which I'm going to quickly show you what that is. And then last but not least, the Beachbody On Demand link and just welcoming them. This is so you can send that, so there's a system that's duplicatable. Guys, what's most important is duplication. So this is a simple system. Now, when you click on the Getting Started Prep Guide, it's going to take you, and I want to show you, to this page. And this is a quick little video. They're going to get a welcome message. It's about a minute long. Welcome them to the group, okay? And then as we scroll down, they're going to get links on how to use Beachbody On Demand, how to use the Portion Fix containers. They scroll down a little more, videos about Shakeology, videos about how to take measurements and photos. And if you click on it, guys, if they click on it, it's then going to show them a video on how to take measurements and photos. This is all connected into that PDF. Here we have videos on the performance line, videos there. So again, you send them this one page, and you can see here they're going to get access into things with personal development as well. Another thing they're going to get at the top of this Getting Started guide, I'm going to show you, they get a guide to a healthier and happier you. I'm just showing you there. They'll click on this team, and when they open it, it's going to take them, and again, it's like 30 seconds. I just want to quickly show you guys. This is going to take them to a generic page that Chris and I made up, and anybody can use it, about setting them up to get started, as they're going to read everything about their commitment. And then further on down, there's even going to be a list of personal development books when you scroll to the bottom. I think there's like 10 seconds left. But I wanted you guys to see that we put this together so you guys just have the link. You can send it to your people, and they're set up for everything to have. Now, normally you'd want to send this to them a couple days in advance, but this really is easy stuff for them to read and go through, so you have content and they see the value of them being your coach.
And this also, we are going to be posting in our challenge group. So
right.
That way, if at any point, you can literally just plug your new challenger into the challenge group, tag them in this document, and say, this is where you're going to get started. You know, tag me once you're done going through everything. It gives them everything that they need to know in one place.
Right. And then this 6-second video, guys, is just showing you on our team website. I now added this. If you scroll down on our homepage, right under the challenge group tab, if you go there, you can get access to it. Here is the PDF, and then you can download the link that you can share right there. So guys, everybody has that, okay? This is a big thing. I posted it today. Okay, next, make sure you're plugging into your cup teams. We have a ton of cup teams team-wide. I know, make sure you're keeping each other accountable. Coach Summit, I'm not going to play the video. The theme this year is You Belong Here. You know how important it is to get your ticket to Coach Summit this year. Whoop, I'm not going to skip that. Just some recognition. These are some of the top coaches. Kristen, Griffin, Shannon signed up 4 new coaches this month. So congratulations to them. This is on the top banner of our team page. This is to recognize our personal PV volume leaders. As you guys remember from being when you want to be Diamond Strong training we did, your goal is to do 500 PV a month. So these are coaches in the 500 club in our team after January, and also those that had 1,000 or higher. So I'm not going to go down the list of names, but we have some great coaches doing some great things. So guys, congratulations in the 500 club and the 1,000 club. Absolutely, absolutely awesome. And then some recognition of those that did hit Success Club in the month of January, Success Club 10, Success Club 5, an honorable mention for those that were very, very, very close. All right, guys. So I know I went fast, but I want to take it to the next slide here. I am really excited because I remember getting to know who Keith was from afar years back when I was a baby coach. And some people ask me, David, who are the coaches that you follow, or who are people you look up to, your mentors? And I have to say, Keith, and he has the label. He's like the grandfather that when Keith speaks, everybody listens, because he has built such an amazing business. As you can see here, 10-star diamond, 5 million plus in earnings, over 25 5-stars in his downline. He's a husband. He's a father of 5. I had the honor of being in the men's event with him and speaking at the men's event and getting to know Keith. He even gave me some of his own time one-on-one last month to help me look at our team here as a whole. And he has now released, guys, this book. And you can see it's kind of like frayed because I went through it like 6 times, taking highlights. Build to Last here on the team. And it just got released on Amazon. I know I've been preaching this all over, but I'm really excited for Keith to speak about his book and what he's done and to drop some knowledge on the team. So let me stop the share here and kick it over to Keith. Go ahead, Keith. I'm going to unmute you, bud. There you are.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Man, you get me all fired up just listening to you, Dave. Holy cow. It's an honor to be here, guys. And I just want to thank the Atkins for the opportunity to speak to your team. And it's honestly something that I don't take lightly, like having somebody say, yeah, we'll allow you to talk to our entire team and share a message with our entire team. It's a big deal, and it's something that I don't take lightly. And I guess starting to just sharing today, I wish I had an entire weekend to like just go through and download stuff, but I want you guys to know that my like growing up, and I grew up in a family with an alcoholic father, an enabling mother, on both sides, on my mom's side and my dad's side, full blown alcoholism. And I did a large amount of drinking myself from all through high school, all through college, and kind of really hit rock bottom, had to file bankruptcy, both a personal bankruptcy, a business bankruptcy. And my life was a disaster. A little bit before I found a little bit before becoming a coach, I fell into P90X. I had just turned 30 years old, and I found myself, I've never told the story in this way, but I found myself that at 30 years old, the bankruptcy was going on. I'd also just gotten out of a relationship, and now I had to move back in with my parents' house foreclosed on that I had to sell off my brand new Toyota Tundra. I love that truck. It was all shiny, and had to sell that off. Let me rephrase that. That was about to get repossessed if I didn't sell it off. And yeah, 30 years old, 12 years ago now, literally living at my parents' house. And I remember my 30th birthday, my parents have this little raised ranch, like you can hear everything. And after you've been out of your parents' house for 10 years and you go back in there, you're like, these people are crazy. And I remember like sitting there one day, and it's funny, I'm going back to childhood memories. I always had this thing, and for the athletes on there, you ever just lay in bed and throw like a tennis ball or any type of ball, like you just sit there throwing it up. And I remember as a kid, I used to always do that. So now I'm 30 years old and I'm laying back in that bed, and I'm throwing this ball up, catching it. And I was like, man, this isn't where I pictured myself. This isn't like how I thought it was going to all work out. And I wanted to start today by sharing that story with you, because all the stuff that Dave just shared, what we can a lot of times do is we can look at others and say, oh, that's for him. That's for David and Kristen. That's for Keith. Like, that's not necessarily for me. And I really want to start today by saying that everybody on this call, you, not the other 36 people on this call, like you, have the ability to achieve success at the highest levels in this business. You do. The question isn't, can you do it? Because that's what we tell ourselves. We're like, can I really do this? And here's the other part to that. Here's where we usually go with it. All right, so Dave just announced all this new stuff for the website. All right, once I go through all that stuff, then then my business is really gonna take off. And the problem with that is there's always that next thing, the next thing to do. And just to really start out by dropping a little bit of truth, getting on this call is not doing your work. Getting on the national wake-up call, like doing all the stuff that Dave talked about, that's like the extra credit work. What the real work is you saw those Success Club numbers, that occurs through talking to people, like actually being out there and actually being in conversation. So what I'm going to recommend, so again, I'm going to toy with this question. Can I do this? We're going to really go back and forth, and we're going to play with that. Here's what I would recommend. I would recommend that you make a commitment today to put your vital behaviors on autopilot. Those shouldn't be it. And I'll tell you what, your business is going to be way easier and your life is going to be way easier, because one of the biggest suckers of energy in our lives is indecision. And when you're, should I do my workout? Should I not do my workout? Should I eat healthy? Should I not eat healthy? Should I post on social media? Should I not? Should I invite people today or should I not? Like, those are our vitals, right? And when you have to go back and forth with that, it literally sucks the life out of you. And then in addition to that, you're never going to get momentum going in your business. So what I would recommend today, put those on autopilot. Make a commitment for the next 30 days. You don't need to make a commitment for the next 5 years, but for the next 30 days, can you commit to putting that on autopilot? Because again, we're looking at this question, can I do this? Well, step number one, you're going to be doing the basic stuff. And tonight, I want to talk a lot about leadership stuff. I want to talk a lot about building a big organization. But whether you're a brand new coach, you just got on here, you're on Team Perseverance, right? So you're on Team Perseverance. It's your first training call. You're on here, and you're like, what did I get myself into? And literally, the only thing you need to know right now is figure out, message whoever invited you, message whoever got you signed up, and say, okay, what are these vital behavior things? Figure out what that is and start doing it, right? The vital behaviors, I feel like so inviting to challenge groups, being an active member in challenge groups, like all of that, that's vital behaviors to me. And again, it's stuff that we want to put on autopilot. What I want to share with you guys tonight is a advanced philosophy. So again, if you're brand new, just stick with me. You might get inspired by some of this. Don't feel like you need to understand it all. Don't feel like you need to know the ins and outs. I believe that at the end of the call, it'll be kind of simple, but don't feel like you have to figure this whole thing out today. And don't feel like your goals have to be the same as what my goals were. Dave shared that we had the opportunity to get together down in Dallas, Texas. So we did a men's event down in Dallas, Texas. And prior to that, I had always flown under the radar. I don't like being in the spotlight. I don't like being up on stage. I don't like people taking my picture. I don't like any of that stuff. I like money and I like helping people. And when I first got started in this business, I studied the compensation plan, and I really wanted to understand what is this network marketing business all about. And eventually it was probably 4 years ago. So I was 5 years into my business, and we were down in Dallas, and we were doing this presentation, and it was a men's event down there. So it was all the men in Beachbody. And what happened, there was a lot of guys that I really looked up to in this business and still look up to in this business. And I didn't realize that a lot of them, their businesses were either A, struggling, or B, they were like up and down, up and down. Or C, they were really dependent on them. Like if they stopped the daily grind, their business would stop. And anyways, down at that event, I realized that we had built a lot different than probably 99.9% of the people within Beachbody. And it was 5 years into this business, and I thought everybody was doing what we were doing because we were reaping some pretty good rewards. And I just want to share a little bit of that. So when I got signed up as a coach, remember it was like, I had that shared the story, a little bit of my pre-story, but then I found P90X when I was 30 years old at my parents' house. I found P90X and really took back my life. That program, it allowed me to, I got in the best shape of my life, but I got my life force back. You know what I mean? Like I felt happy. I felt alive. I had a twinkle back in my eye. And I did it with my personal sponsor, Bob Lucido, and this other woman, Kai Rose. And we didn't have Facebook then. We would text message each other, like our accountability back and forth. But for 2 years, this little in-home fitness program. And one of the things I really just want to mention there, I would have never been able to do this, like get the results I got with P90X or with this business if it wasn't for the community. And one of the things that we really have is we have a community of, let's be honest, like there's a lot of like SHIT floating around out there in the world, right? There's a lot of people that want to bring us down. There's a lot of people that want to play the victim card, want to play like the perpetrator, want to be like all this stuff. And what I found with Beachbody, and if you look hard, what you can really find, because there's some of that in Beachbody too, but for the most part, if you look hard, you're going to find people who they want to take control of their life. They want to live a better life. They want to live an empowered life. They want to live a healthy life. They want to be an example for their children, etc. And I found that in the Beachbody community, and I found that with that silly little workout program that we did from home every single day, and it really did. So anyways, did that for 2 years and eventually decided to become a coach. 11 months into coaching, I was able to do this full time. At that time, I'd only had one child and my expenses were a lot less. So we were making $1,000 a week and that covered all of my bills. Things are a little different now. But, so anyways, we're making $1,000 a week. And I remember sitting there writing on Facebook that I was rich. And what was rich to me, it wasn't the money, because the real money hadn't come yet, right? The monopoly money hadn't come yet. I was free. I had freedom of time. I could create my own schedule. I could literally, if I wanted to, I was listening to my sponsor, Bob. We were on a call the other night together, and he was saying, and it was the same thing with him when it happened for him. He was saying he just did a field trip with his kids and he got to drive the school bus with his kids. Like, I could never do stuff like that prior to being a full-time Beachbody coach, but it sounds corny. That's what I wanted in my life. That's what I still want. Like, I want to be able to do that. Today was a little crazy at home. I told my wife today was one of the days that have you ever felt like just running away? Like, I was just like, oh my God, just get me out of here right now with like 5 screaming kids. That's what it was today. But I signed up for this. This is what I want. So anyways, that was 11 months. Here's the piece I want you guys to really catch. 3.5 years into my business, I went away on a spiritual retreat. And during that spiritual retreat, I was unplugged from all technology. No cell phone, no email, no internet, nothing. And came back. So 2 weeks gone, came back. And during that 2 weeks, our team had added 800 new coaches. So this was 3.5 years into the business. Here's the crazy part, guys. And this is like I got your attention. During that time, so I got back, and you can imagine the stuff that I had to deal with when I got back, right? Being gone for 2 weeks. I didn't have a single voice message. I didn't have a single direct message. I didn't have a single text message. Nobody needed anything. And the reason for that, and I want you guys to get this point and write it down. The reason for that was because I had leaders that I had developed that were now running their own teams. When I first started in this business, a really good trainer told me, you're only looking for 5 people. And he said, some people only get 2 people. If you get 2 good people, you can make 6 figures in this business. 2 people. You get a rock star on your right leg and a rock star on your left leg, you can make 6 figures in this business. Insert income disclaimer and all that. He said, 5 people, you can probably make 6, whatever it is, 7 figures, $1 million a year. And I was like, oh, I like the idea of that. So 5 people, but I wanted to build a big business right from the start. And for all of us, we understand that in order to build a big business, you need a big team, right? And we all get that concept, and I couldn't understand that. Like I couldn't fathom bringing in 100 coaches, never mind the thousands of coaches I really wanted. My brain couldn't understand that concept, but here's what it could understand. You're only looking for 5 people. And I was like, aha. So what I would share with you, and again, this is like a high level training. And one of the things that I really want you to hear from my heart to yours, what I'm about to teach you in the philosophy. So this isn't any different than what you're doing. It's just a different philosophy. It's a different intention on the end goal. It's not more work. It's different work. And it's going to feel awkward, and it's going to feel, if you do decide to go the truth, it's going to feel awkward, and it's going to feel unrewarding at first, but it's a lot of delayed gratification to build something that gives you freedom in your life. And to me, that's the ultimate commodity. The money's great and the relationships are great, but the freedom to be able to really spend intimate time with the people that I want to spend it with, that's the ultimate commodity in our business. And so anyways, I got that number, 5 people in my head, and it's stuck in my head. And what you're looking for, and what he told me is, Keith, you're only looking for 5 people. And he said, now you have to go through a lot of people to find these 5 people. But he said, treat your business not like a coach, treat it like a CEO. And I was like, so what's the difference with that? And he said, a coach wants to sell products for Beachbody. A CEO wants to build a team, wants to build leaders, wants to build a supporting cast around them, right? And that's what I set out to do. So again, the intention was to build a large organization. Okay, how are we going to do that? Finding 5 people. And if there's anything you take from this call, that intention, you don't have to change what you're doing, but change the intention why you're doing it. Let me explain that. So we all understand the Beachbody funnel to find customers or coaches, right? So we've got all these people out there. Let's just say, we've got the UK too. So either UK, the United States, or Canada. Hey, Penny from the UK. All right. So we got all these people out there, right? And then we narrow the funnel down a little bit to people that are somehow seeing us, that we're somehow coming in contact with, right? And then it narrows down a little bit more to people that we're inviting to something. And then it narrows down to people that we actually have communication with, right? Maybe there's a share cart sent out, and then eventually it gets to the point where somebody signs up as a discount coach or a customer. Everybody understand that sort of funnel? The way that I always looked at it was, that's one funnel that now filters into a second funnel. Because again, I'm looking for 5 people, right? So now my second funnel is all my discount coaches, all my coaches, all my customers, and that's another big funnel. And what I'm looking for is somebody who's interested in doing this business. Okay, now we funnel down a little bit more. And then I'm looking for, okay, somebody that actually takes a little bit of effort. Maybe they sign up a coach or a customer. Now we funnel down a little more. Then someone that gets to Emerald. Then someone that gets to Diamond. And eventually someone who's 5-star Diamond or above. And I really kept it that simple. One side note. So again, if you're brand new, and this is way over your head, just catch the philosophy. Like, don't worry about like every single tiny little thing. Write this down and understand it. Volume, which I know you guys focus on a lot on your team, volume is what pays you. Rank does not pay you. So we have a lot of diamond coaches on our team that make more than some 15-star diamond coaches because it's volume. So volume is what's going to pay you. Those 5 stars that I mentioned, they don't need to be personally sponsored. They just need to be in your downline somewhere. So if you're in that in-between spot where, you know, you've got 10 or 20 people in your downline, don't just focus on your personally sponsored people. You're looking for those people who are raising their hand and saying, me, like, I want to do this business with you. Those are the people that you're looking for. How do we find those people though, right? That's the big question. Do you guys mind if I spend like 15 more minutes just really dialing in, like, okay, you guys get the philosophy now, right? Like, you get the piece. I want to talk about how we find those 5 people. I have to go on a little tangent first though. What I've run into recently with newer coaches coming in, they want to be, my kids call it, they want to be like YouTube celebrities now. They want to be YouTubers, right? And I feel like all of our coaches coming in, they want to be Facebookers or Instagrammers or YouTubers or whatever you want to call it. Here's the deal, guys. That's a privilege that you get after you learn how to talk to people. I don't think that you want to start doing that stuff, but for the first 5 years of my business, now I sound like the old guy that like we had to walk up a hill on the way to school and up the same hill on the way home. No, but for the first 5 years of my business, I didn't have one single person that came to me. It was literally me hustling and reaching out. I used to go into yoga studios, mixing up this blender of Shakeology and like rushing and handing out samples. But hey, I knew that if I handed out 10 samples and got 10 phone numbers and email addresses, I could get one person to sign up. And I wanted control of that, right? I wanted something where I knew any day of the week I could go to one of those yoga studios, I could hand out those samples, and I could get a person to sign up. So my little tangent is the talking to people, doing the active reaching out. That's like learning math. Getting all this attraction marketing with Instagram and everybody coming to you, that's like the calculator. And I think you want to work towards that. But if you're not hitting Success Club 10 or above with people coming to you, you might want to consider like heavily reaching out to other people. We'll leave it at that. So how do we find people that are actually going to work this business? And any leader that I work with, this is the number one question they ask. And then they hate the answer that I give them. And I'm going to give you guys the layout to it. Everybody wants to know, like, what do I need to do, right? That's what we want to know. It's a 3-step process. And honestly, this is what the entire book is about. The entire book is about, like, how do we get these people and how do we get them working? Step number 1 is you have to first lead yourself. Step number 2 is you have to position yourself. And then step number 3 is we can mentor people. So what do we mean by leading ourselves? The easiest way for me to describe leading ourselves is, let's say you have a goal. You got this big dream goal of someday becoming a 5-star diamond coach, right? And I love working with people. I love working with people that have these big goals. And here's where everybody wants to know. They want to know, okay, tell me what to do. Like, I'm a hustler, Keith. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. I'll do whatever it takes. And that gets me excited. And I can give them all the to-dos. And you ready? Here's the to-dos. Talk to a lot of people. Done. All right. That's how you get there. I mean, it's not any more complicated than that. But here's the thing. Here's the real question that I love going to work on with people when I'm mentoring. The question isn't what do I need to do? The real question is who do I need to become? Because you might not be capable of getting to 5-star diamond with your current skill set. If you're holding on to baggage from your past, if you're in toxic relationships, if you're playing the victim card and you've got a million different excuses why this won't work for you, right? So, and this is just like, this is the 95% of this business. Like, this is what we all have, the same business plan. Carl Deichler doesn't say, oh, the Atkins, I'm going to give them the secret sauce. I'm going to give them like the better business. Like, we all get the same thing. It's the same vehicle, but who's driving the vehicle? And here's the good news. We get to shine that up. Because what this business is really about, it boils down to 2 things. It boils down to you becoming the brightest, shiniest, most beautiful version of yourself from the inside out. And then when you're doing that, that inspires other people and attracts other people to you, and you help them to do the same. That's it. Like, that's our business model in a nutshell. So, like, how do we get started in leading ourselves, personal development? So again, this is what I'm sharing today. It's more of an advanced call, right? And at some point, if we want to take that next step, if we want to give our business that little oomph, we have to do more than just show up, right? So like a big motto in network marketing is just keep showing up, or be here a year from now. And that's good, but that's not going to build you a business. Like, that's going to help you to just keep showing up. At some point, what I believe personal development is a combination of those 2 words. Like, you're a person, you're a human being, and you're developing yourself. You're developing your skill set. And here's the thing, guys. We have to identify, each of us, what's really holding us back. Because for some people, some of us, it's fear. Some of us, we're afraid to go live. We're afraid of rejection. For other people, we've been caught up in depressive thoughts and actions. For other people, we have guilt and shame that we haven't let go. For other people, it's anger. For other people, it's lazy, and we're not going out, like, we're not doing those vital behaviors every single day, right? But for each of us, it's different. And here's the thing. Here's the piece to make this easy for you. So step number 1, leading yourself. We all love action, right? So here's the easy action step. Wayne Dyer said we all have this list of things that we're willing to do, right? And each one of us on this call, myself included, the Atkins included, like, we all have these lists of things that we're willing to do to be successful in this business. He said, take that list and tear it up, throw it away. You don't need that list. It's too long. What I want you to do is make the list of the couple things that you're not yet willing to do. Because that's what's going to put, like, we can spend all this time focusing on the things that we need to do, but what that really is we're staying very much in our comfort zone of the things that, like, we're at, what can we do with our current level of skill, right? But if we start looking at, like, what are those things we really don't want to do? Oh man, I'm a new diamond coach and I'm just going to hang out here. Or maybe I should reach out to these guys, and it scares me to death, but maybe I should ask to speak on their team call. Like little steps like that. Like, what are the things that are holding you back? Or maybe speaking at a Super Saturday, or, maybe you're a brand new coach and you're willing to get on the calls and you're willing to do all of this, but have you invited 10 people a day for the last 30 days? Right? So super simple. There's no way. So again, this is a 3-step process. How do we find people to do this business? And then how do we get them working? If you're on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're down here at a 1 or 2, you can't attract anybody in that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So if you're hiding out down there and you're not, like, one of the most beautiful things, here's the sexiest selfie you're ever going to take in this business. You like owning up to your own SHIT and then little by little walking through it instead of wallowing in it. And I'll tell you, you can do all the little like lip pucker things and whatever women do, like the butts out and like all that stuff. If you start walking through your stuff, that is the most inspiring, sexy, magnetic thing you're going to do. And when you're doing that, and then when you start attracting people in, you now have the ability to lead them. Right? So I'm kind of jumping forward. Let me jump into step number 2, positioning ourselves. So you guys get that first step. Like, we need to lead ourselves. We need to own it. We need to be in our power. And you guys, like, we know when we've been in our power, right? Everybody understand what I'm talking about here? And we know when we're out of it. Oh gosh, I got to tell one more story with this one part because it really makes sense. It's a Carl Deichler story. And I love it. I had, like, 2 years ago, I had Carl on the call and I was like, this is my one time to really get into Carl. And I wanted to talk to him. I didn't care anything about Beachbody or anything like that. I wanted to pick his brain about his mindset. Because that dude is always on, right? Like, he's just always it doesn't matter what's going on. And like the stuff that he has to deal with, and to always be on point. And he told this story. So he's got this like Indian guru that he follows, like Eastern Indian guru that he follows. And he told this story and he said, Keith, this is the one thing that I focus on all day, every day. And he called it the snake in the room principle. And he said it has 2 things. He goes, my objective is to let me take a step back. He said, I picture all day long that there's snakes. Like, there's snakes around me, and these venomous snakes. And he said, my job is twofold. Let me take one step back again. The snakes are people that are going to try to put him down. It's like the FTC writing a letter to Beachbody. It's getting a bad press or something like that. Program flopping, right? Like, these different things that can come in, that can come at you. And he said, my job for myself personally is twofold. It's to not let one of those snakes bite me. And then B, if that snake does bite me, to get that poison out as fast as possible. And I was like, man, I love that philosophy. And here's the kicker. He said, here's why a lot of Beachbody coaches are struggling. They've gotten bitten years ago or decades ago, and they haven't gotten that poison out of them. And he said, for some of us, we may need to go to a therapist. For some of us, we may like all different things. Maybe we need to go to church. Maybe like each one of us, it's something different. But he said that our job is twofold. Like, we have to be doing the activities, but we have to keep that energy clear. We have to keep our minds clear, our hearts clear, our spirits clear. This makes sense? I know it's kind of like way out there, but again, for you to attract other people, you need to be walking in your power. All right. Am I doing okay for time? Like 5 more minutes? All right. So how do we position ourselves? So step 1, leading ourselves. Step 2, position ourselves. I'm going to give you guys a super abridged version of this. If you go to keithcallahan.com/book, there's like 10 different downloadable free resources, and everything that I go through right here is there for free. So I'm gonna fly through this and give you a really abridged version. I'm also going to give you the higher level of my business, like how it works now. Take anything you want. I wouldn't recommend like changing things you do. You can steal whatever you want, but catch the philosophy, that I'm trying to get here. So again, I've been a coach for 9 years. First 5 years, all was just me reaching out. Now I have two things. I have this podcast called All About Beachbody Coaching. I did it like 4 years ago, recorded it once, and it's kind of like a blog about coaching, but in podcast form. So basically any questions that people might have, that's what all the different blog topics are. It's like, the podcast topics, like 30 episodes. I then had a professional transcribe all those, and she put them into blog posts. Same thing. So now I'll sign up like 2 to 3 people a month that come through those things. That's all I want personally, like where my business is at. That's what I want coming in every single month, 2 to 3 people. And it gives me the ability to work with them really deep. Once somebody and all those blogs and all those podcasts are really like everything that I'm sharing with you right now, it's like this type of tone on them. Somebody's interested, they want to talk about working with me more, they go to a form, like a questionnaire, 10 questions, and the purpose of the questionnaire is to position me as a leader. And these are questions like, are you willing to have a mentor-mentee relationship for the first 3 months? Are you willing to embark on a personal development plan? Are you willing to read the books that I recommend? Are you willing to allow me to speak truth into your life on areas that we might need to improve on? You get the point? Like positioning. They hit submit. Everybody kind of, like a lot of people have this already. They get an autoresponder. On the autoresponder, this has worked really well, guys. It says, I'm super busy. I'm a husband, father of 5, but I want to carve out time for you. Here's my personal cell phone number. Send me a text message. Let me know that you just sent in an application. I know right away because I get a text message when they send in the application. But again, it's another positioning thing. They're having to take action, tell me that they submitted an application. We then go and, we get on the phone, jump on the phone. My whole entire like the phone call that we have, the gist of the phone call is, I'm not the best at running challenge groups. I don't know all the ingredients in Shakeology. I can plug you into the resources for that. But if you want to build a big business, that's what I'm good at. And that's what I'm going to help you with. So again, positioning. They go ahead, they get signed up, they get an email from Beachbody, they get an email from me. The email from me has them go through 10 different things. And again, I want them thinking like I think. I'm taking them down a path. It's the Jim Rohn Building Your Network Marketing audio. It's the Slight Edge. It's like the stuff that I really like. Finally, we get to the Getting Started Right call. And the gist of the Getting Started Right call is, okay, we're going Emerald today. Who's the first, who are the people we're going to sign up today? It's not a miracle thing. I would say 1 out of 3 people will sign up 2 people that day. The other 1 out of 3 might do it within a month, and the other one I probably never hear from again. That's just how the numbers shake out. But can you see how drastic, a lot of us, we want to know, how do we get people to do this business? You get people by living your best life. You get people by get rid of plan B. I'm telling you, get rid of plan B. It should be plan A. And if plan A doesn't work out, what's the other plan A? That's the plan. Because sometimes plan B it softens things just a little bit. And when that pressure is taken off, we don't live up to what we're capable of. So when we're doing this, when we're leading ourselves, then we're positioning ourselves. Again, take that philosophy. Now we get to the mentorship part, right? So Craig Holliday was my mentor. He took this string and he said, Keith, this is all you need to know about mentoring. I had a 12-inch string, put it on a table, and he said, go ahead and push that string. And you push it and it wrinkles up, right? He said, that's how everybody in this business thinks that leadership works and thinks that mentoring works. He said, now put that string back out on the table and put your finger on one end of it and pull it. And he said, what your job is to live your best life. Like, go at this thing 110%, give it everything you've got. And then what's going to happen is people are going to start following, and people are going to be inspired by what you're doing and where you're going. And because so many of us, what we're trying to do, we've got this one or two coaches and we're like, we're struggling to get this coach working. And what he said, and I'm telling you, it totally changed my business. He said, once you really take off with this thing and say you've got 3 people and you're like, you know what? I love you guys to death, but I'm going with or without you. He said, people start to pay attention. Because it's not about leading people. It's about inspiring people. Because once that we try to do all these little things with holding contests and getting this and rewards and this and, you can do it and all that stuff. But once that person catches that inspiration, you get out of the way. So the goal, the ultimate goal, that question, how do we find people to do this business? And then how do we actually get them working? It's all comes down to inspiration. The whole entire thing is about inspiration. You're living your best self, and then eventually you inspire them to live their best selves. But we got to work those numbers. We got to funnel it down. So that is the most abridged version I can give you guys in 45 minutes. I know it was long. Hopefully it made some sense. And I'll just leave you with this. The question to ask yourself isn't, can I do this? I've given you the bigger picture overview. You know what it takes now. The real question is, am I willing to do what it takes? Right?
Absolutely, Keith. Amazing. I mean, and I folded pages in your book to say, I'm going to ask Keith about this. And then you brought it up. The thing with finding what you're not willing to do. But if you can elaborate, this one struck me. And I think everything you're saying, I think the biggest thing that people do is they become sponges. They're full of ideas. They don't take action. And literally, I highlighted here on your page 61 that you learn in this business, it's a do and then learn business. It's not a learn and then do business. And I'm like, wow, that is so true of this business. Can you elaborate on that? Because I think it's so applicable to so many coaches that take all this in, but they want to figure it out before they actually take the steps.
Yeah, let me just give 2 quick examples. When I first got signed up, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was freaking fired up. I was inspired, right? I had caught that inspiration bug. Here's what I did. I went to anybody and everybody I knew, let them know how excited I was, and asked them if they'd be willing to jump on a webinar. That's it. That's all I did for the first 3 months in my business. But we've got third-party tools. And when I did that, it would be okay, people don't like when I say that to them. So I learned, but it was after I was doing, you can't, it's an action business. It's a business of taking massive action right away. Real quick, the other day, 2 weeks ago, on a Sunday, I decided I was going to start this new video series on my Facebook page. And I did what we all do. I was like, okay, so I'm going to take the month of February and get set up for this thing. I'm going to get the lighting perfect and the camera perfect. And I'll write out an opening script and a closing script. And literally I'm outlining all the stuff that I should do. And I was like, oh man, I just got to go live tomorrow. Like, I don't need a month to do this thing, right? But that's what we do. And the pieces, though, I went live, and it was bad. That I looked like Casper the Ghost. Like, it was literally all you could see was these 2 white eyes. The lighting was bad. I didn't have a good microphone. I was like looking up in the camera being like, are we live right now? I think we're live. If anybody's on here, can you let me know? Like, that type of stuff. And then the training was bad, but I did it. And that's 2 weeks ago. And you know what? I made the commitment, and here's the do and then learn in this business. I made the commitment that every day I'll do one little thing that'll make the videos better. So now, 2 weeks later, I have my iPad instead of my iPhone. I've got this cool little ring light that I found in the basement. I ordered a microphone. It's the wrong microphone. It doesn't plug in. And it's funny. I was like, I just got to stop doing these videos because now I don't have the microphone doesn't work, right? Instead of waiting, instead of just doing. Like, continue doing. And we're going to learn as we go.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And another point I would just want to hit on in chapter 7, guys, Keith says, attracting leaders is 100% about you. People are buying you in capital letters. People are buying your energy, your story, your vision, your dream. And that really hit on your first point about leading yourself, and your personal development you need to develop. And I thought that also, Keith, it's just so true. It's just so true. Guys, any general questions for Keith? Anybody? If you do, unmute your line or type them in the chat. In the meantime, guys, you have to get his book. Like, it's an easy read, and I literally read it in 24 hours. I messaged Keith and then went on Amazon and wrote up like, holy cow, and I went through it. Kristen's reading it, just about done with it. You have to get this book because what he said, he breaks it down and so much more.
Hey, Keith, can you do us a favor?
Yeah.
I want to gift a book to somebody who's on this call.
Awesome.
So I'm going to have you close your eyes and pick somebody on this call who we can gift a book to.
Hold on. So what we'll do is I'll sign a copy and mail it out to them. How about that?
Yeah. Love it.
All right.
Yay.
Okay. So Michelle, I can't pick you, but I can. All right. So I'm going to close my eyes.
Okay.
How do I do this? I just touch the screen?
Just whoever you land on, make sure you see the whole view of the gallery, everybody's little square faces.
No, because I don't want to look at them. Okay.
No, close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Can you mix everybody up?
I don't know.
All right, ready? I'm not going to go there because I think Michelle's like right there and she has it already. All right, hold on. Now I got to see who it was. Oh, it's a different Michelle. Michelle Rose. Do you have the book?
No, yeah.
All right.
All right, awesome. Michelle, message us after the call. We'll get your information. So
and we'll send it over to Keith.
Cool.
Thank you, Keith. Any general questions before we let Keith go? Anybody? Don't be shy to ask. Yes, Joanna, go ahead.
Can you repeat the website again?
Oh, for the free resources, it's Keith Callahan. So just my name, .com/book. There's some really cool stuff in there. So there's like 7 PDFs and then 3 audios that explain how to use the PDFs.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Real quick, Keith, I have a quick question for you. So we have a lot of newer coaches on the call and on the team, and it's very easy starting off to get extremely discouraged and, fear to build up. Like, I'm inviting people, but they're all saying no. And, what is your advice we'd say the same things over and over again. It takes time. You're planting the seeds. What do you tell those coaches while you're mentoring them to keep them motivated and keep them excited when, if they are getting a lot of no's,
So the biggest thing that my 2 mentors did for me, so I've had 2 mentors in this business. I had Craig Holiday, who was a mentor I hired, and my sponsor, Bob Lucido, who was a mentor to me prior to this business, but he didn't know what he was doing because we both signed up together. So we hired Craig. But in my life, what those men did for me is they believed in me before I believed in myself, and they saw something in me before I could see it in myself. So I would say from a sponsor's standpoint, the biggest thing you can ever do for somebody is love them and see them not as they are, but as they can be. And, that's really when I'm mentoring people, like that's over and over and over. And I continue to do that. I actually, like at my altar, when I'm praying, like I visualize them as their highest selves. And some might think this is creepy, but like it's because like the more I do that, I see them that way, not the other way. And I think that for ourselves personally, seeing ourselves as we can be, not as we are. I was watching I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I was watching a thing about, he said he used to bodybuild for 5 hours a day, and everybody would be like gritting and like moaning and crying, and he would just have a smile on his face the entire time. And they asked him, like, why was it? Like, were you not going through that pain? And he's like, yeah, but I knew that every single rep, every single set, every single thing was getting me to where I wanted to be. So I never focused on where I was only focused on what the end result was that I was looking for. So I think for each of us, like, this is a business and it's not easy and it's not going to come natural and you're going to have to grow, but your belief in yourself and how much you nurture that belief and how much you visualize it, and even more than seeing it here, like feeling it, like what's it going to feel like when you have that success, I think that pulls us through. And then coming back to one more thing that we started the call with, really plugging deep into the community, and not on a surface level, but reach out and like ask for help and offer help. And it's kind of like if you're in a challenge group, right? Like our challenge groups were, when I first started, when we were texting each other, it was like old stuff coming up that like we committed to do 90 days, 100%. And when our SHIT came up, you would power through it, but you would share it with the other people that were because everybody's going through it together. And the more you plug into the community, the more you're going to get out of the community.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So I'm going to end there since we went on. I want to let Keith go. Keith, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for writing this book. Thank you for your time last month talking to me. And thank you
of course, man.
Speaking on the call. I really appreciate it. You're amazing, and we're honored to have you on. So, guys, the recording will be up tomorrow. Otherwise, Keith, thank you. And team, have an amazing and great night. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.